There's where it all began, the Peach Basket. Here at Springfield, Massachusetts, here we are at the Hall of Fame, surrounded by memorabilia of many, many great players throughout the years. The only thing that's changed in basketball are the players, the people. They're bigger, faster, stronger, smarter, better reactors. But one thing does not change, is the fundamentals. For example, if you're a player in high school and you're about 6'4", 6'5", you may jump center. When you go to college, what happens? You're now a forward. If you're good enough and become a professional, you're now a guard. Therefore, when you're young, learn the basic fundamentals of all the positions. That's very, very important. Many years ago, you had a Dutch Dennett from the original Celtics, or a George Mikan from DePaul University, also a great professional. They were specialists. They'd stand under the basket, they'd get in the pivot, and they'd have that hook shot down pat. Today, you can't do that. You see the Jabbars and people like that taking set shots, drive to the hoop. So you must learn all the fundamentals. Now, what you're about to see is some of the great players of our time demonstrating these things, so you better learn them.
Everybody likes to dribble the ball. And there's JoJo White showing how it should be done. Leon Benbow on defense. Watch JoJo's head up all the time. He knows the floor is smooth, the ball is round. He doesn't have to watch the ball. What about that, Joe? How are you watching him?
Well, Red, what I'm trying to do is attack the foot that's up. If the front foot is up, I want to attack that foot. I'm also looking with my head up and seeing if somebody breaks open, I can pass the basketball. His hands are down. I don't want to make sure that I don't cross over in front of him and he can steal the basketball.
Yeah, but what about you, Leon? Now, you're playing defense on a dribbler who's coming at you and attacking you. What are you actually trying to do?
Well, mainly I'm trying to turn him in one direction and beat him over to that area and perhaps anticipate a steal.
All right. Now, what would happen? Here's a good example. Suppose you lean a little bit too forward trying to steal that ball. Watch what JoJo will do. He'll go right by him. He'll go right by him because JoJo knows he's off balance merely by the fact that JoJo's head is up watching this man. JoJo can see if a man is free under the basket cutting because he knows by this touch dribble and his head being up, he controls that ball. He controls it to the point where he does not have to watch it at all. All right, here's a pound dribble, a hard, strong dribble. It's very difficult to keep your finger control of that ball. Now, there are a few players. See, JoJo missed the ball because it's hard to keep your head up and be a pound dribbler. A lot of players do that because they don't have that fingertip control. I do not recommend this. It's too high, it's too fast, too many things could happen. Now, another kind of dribble is the behind-the-back dribble. The behind-the-back dribble is usually, and most times, a showboat move. A guy wants to show he has some dexterity, and he dribbles behind the back with no real reason. However, the behind-the-back dribble can be used effectively. For example, here's how. If Leon Benbow is overplaying JoJo to the right, as he's coming in, he'll go behind the back and get by him. Now watch this. See? Now the reason JoJo went behind his back is because if he crossed over, he might steal that ball. Therefore, when he sees his hand in and leaning, he'll go behind his back. Now that behind-the-back dribble can be effective at that point. But remember, most of the time, it's a showboat move. Don't do it unless you're really adept at it. Work on it. If it has a value, use it. Otherwise, forget it. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit dexterity dribble. Now, we've talked about the fingertip control, the flexing of the wrist, the head up, the knees bent. Now, if you got a ball at home, you know the floor is smooth, why don't you practice it a little bit? Now, watch some of the things JoJo practices just to get the feel of the ball. All right, he don't even have to watch the ball. He'll watch me on Benbow. He'll keep his head up. Just little things like that. He might go between his legs just to get that complete feel of the ball. But watch his fingers. His fingers, his knees, everything plays an important part in dribbling the ball. See that? Just little fingertip control. So at home, when you're practicing this thing, and you're young players, please don't watch the ball. Watch the court, watch the man, watch everything but the ball. The penetrating dribbler, to me, the guy in the NBA who can do this better than anybody else. Tiny Archibald of the Kansas City Kings, guarded by Doug Cowens of the 76ers. Rudy Tomjanovich from the Houston Rockets. He'll be on the same side with Tiny, as you'll see in a minute, and George McGinnis, a great 76er. Now, we'll start off with a simple move of a penetrating move. Go ahead, Tiny. All right. Now, that's the play that we want, the penetrating dribbler. Now, Tiny, when you're coming down at a man, what do?
I try to really not bounce the ball, but really get the ball in my fingertips and bend my legs and try to get really the thrust to the basket.
Well, that's what we talked about in dribbling, about the pound dribbler or the touch dribbler. You're a touch dribbler, right?
I try to touch the ball and plus keep my eyes on the man with my head up and my knees bent and try to get my body to go towards the basket.
Now, do you watch his feet at all?
I try to watch his feet and try to make the defensive man try to commit himself either to lean one way or another or try to make my move with my head or my body to try to commit himself.
Now, that's the answer there. That's very, very important. See, a lot of people think that when you fake on a dribble, you go like this, you move your ball, you do different things. But what he does very, very well is he fakes you with his body as he's coming at you. Now do this one more time and give him a good fake with your body. Go ahead. Watch his body. See? Give it that shake. Nice move. All right, Tiny. As he said a moment ago, his head is up. He sees the court. He knows what's going on. He doesn't want an offensive foul. But he knows he can't keep doing this all the time. The defense is going to switch. They're going to knock that ball right down at him. So he's got to keep them honest. Now, here's the way he keeps them honest. Okay. Watch this very closely. There's the bounce pass after penetration. You notice how the bounce pass came up high? That's not easy for a little guy. He knew he was going to throw it to a corner man. He didn't throw it at his knees. He got that ball up there. That's a good, tough pass. You got great hands. All right. Now the pass in the air. Nice, good, firm hook pass right to his teammate. Only a great player should do that. That is tough. Isn't that the pass that they'll pick off on you more than anything else?
Well, most of the time they're ready for the aerial passes because the defensive man, when he commits himself, he should have his hands trying to either block your shot or intimidate your shot or try to steal the ball.
All right, now watch the behind-the-back pass, and I want you to jump in the air with him just to demonstrate. Now, I don't approve of behind-the-back passes or fancy stuff. I'm interested in results. I don't care how you throw it as long as they catch it. But this is the one time, if you're ever going to throw behind your back, this is the time you should do it. All right, go ahead. Well, that was even tougher. He did that around his neck. I give up on that one. We'll show you that one, but forget it. Do it behind your back. All right. I don't know. I remember in the old days when a guy did that, everybody in the place went, ooh, ah. Today, it's accepted if the ball is caught. So you fans out there, don't get tricky and don't think you're so smart. On your dribbling, don't get too tricky. Behind the back passing, forget it. Learn the game fundamentally. Hold it right there. Before we tell you why these thumbs are down, the hands are extended, this is Pete Maravich, the greatest playmaker and passer in the game today, passing to Henry Bibby, also playing with the New Orleans Jazz. Notice the fingers. Notice the wrist. Notice the hands. It's firm, fingers spread, follow through. Just on a simple chest pass. Now, Pete, in throwing that pass, do you really think about that when you do it, or does it become automatic?
Well, actually, it becomes automatic, but the three basic ingredients in throwing any type of pass is fingertip control, backspin, and follow-through.
All right, now demonstrate the other few fundamental passes.
All right, the four basic are the chest pass and the chest bounce pass. Well, you throw it two ways, either backspin or forward spin, like this.
Well, what is your major purpose when you throw that bounce pass? Isn't it to get it right here?
Try to get it right to the man's waist where he can handle it quite easily.
That's the key. Too many people throw bounce passes and throw that ball away. Okay, the other two.
Other two, basically the overhead pass, like I like to think the greatest overhead passer in the game today is Wes Unseld, and he uses this mainly for outlet passes. And then your last one is the baseball pass, which is thrown, I like to throw it right from the back of the air instead of winding up with it, because then you might have a baseball curl, right. So I keep it here, and I keep my left arm out for protection so that if I can bring it back, and I throw it straight out.
We're going to show you some of these passes and some extra passes while these men are in motion. Now, Pete, show them some of those.
Okay, basically going down on a break situation, I'll show the first one is a between the legs pass, which I like to call deceptive passing instead of always telegraphing your passes. If you're standing right there on a 2-on-1 situation, I'm coming down, I'll try to throw a pass in this nature and throw my hand out extended like this, which I know you do not like.
You know why I don't like it? Because too many people do it and don't do it successfully. Pete, let me see another one.
Well, I'd like to call this what I call my wrist pass, and this is a very...
Watch this one. I saw that. Well, you won't believe it. Watch this one.
Very deceptive pass. So usually on a 3-on-1 situation, you start out throwing the ball in this direction like you're going to throw it out to this man coming in, and actually what happens is it goes the other way. So it's a very good deceptive pass.
Don't try it. Don't try it.
It's very tough on your elbows.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. He could do it, and the players playing with him better know that it's coming, because I always felt this. What good is a great pass, no matter how good it looks, if his own teammates don't know it's coming? Now, Pete, what about passing from the move? You know, on the dribble.
All right, passing on the move. Again, you got basically different type passes. You got your basic bounce pass coming in like this in this situation, or you might want to come down and throw behind the back. Bounce pass, the same direction.
All right, now pass in the air.
Passing in the air, as you mentioned, Coach, is very dangerous because a lot of times guys commit themselves. Most of the times what I like to do is coming off a pick situation where our center rolls, or coming down on a break where you can go up, put a shot or pass to a guy if he comes out.
Remember, the way the rules of basketball are, once he is in the air, he only can do two things, pass or shoot. He cannot come down. So he knows darn well that once he leaves his feet, he better hang up there a long time if that guy's going to switch and pick off that pass. So he better be sure of what you're doing. Am I right?
Correct.
Too many people, especially on a high school level, they like to jump in the air all the time. And they don't become concerned when people intercept their passes. Now, I'm going to close this thing with one reminder. I've always had a philosophy on passing. The guy played for me, and like I told you many times, I don't care how you throw it. Over your head, between your legs, behind your back, any way at all, as long as the guy catches it. No pass is a good one unless you catch it. There comes a time in every ball game when you go to a one-on-one situation. But to be really good on a one-on-one situation, you got to fool them. You got to fake them. You got to do other things. All right, now let's have the ball a second. Now we have Doug Cowens here on the offense, one of the great one-on-one players in the NBA from the Philadelphia 76ers. Then we have guarding him, Randy Smith from the Buffalo Braves, also a great one-on-one player, but we're using him on defense today. Also helping out Doug Cowens is the great George McGinnis from the Philadelphia 76ers, and guarding him, one of the truly greats, Rudy Tomjanovich from the Houston Rockets. Now, Doug, when you come to a ball game, the game is close, or even early in the game, and you figure you got a guy, might not be a good defensive ball player, and you decide to go one-on-one. Now, what do?
Well, first of all, I think it's important. When I get the ball, I try not to put the ball on the floor. I try to catch the ball and take a look at the man defensively and try to find his weak side.
That is what so many of you fans always do. Every time you catch the ball, you drop it. You lose your dribble. Now, he said he looks at the defensive man. Randy, you're over here. He said he holds his dribble. That makes Randy Smith think a little bit, right?
Right.
He can't get too close now. He gets too far away, you're going to shoot it. But what else goes through your mind?
Well, I look to see which foot he has forward, and I try to attack that foot. So if I can get him to rock this way and come across and make him drop that foot, then I feel like I can get inside him.
The most important thing of what he's trying to bring across is don't watch the ball in your hand. Look up. Watch this. All right, quick move. That's just a matter of a one-on-one quickness. Just a quickness. All right, this time, fake him and take your set shot. Okay? Very simple. All right, now here's a couple little plays that a good guard with the help of a good forward can use. Watch it. That's what we call a simple handoff, like a football handoff. The guy just gave it and a burst of speed, and there he went. Now do the same thing on the outside. Same thing on the outside. All right. Now, Doug, do the same thing. Go on the outside and stop for a shot. Now, Randy Smith, he's worried about what he's going to do. Watch this. Doug Cowens uses his particular skill. He has what we call a very quick release, similar to a great shortstop with a quick hand. All right, now use your pick. Come down, lose your dribble this time. Change them out. Lose your dribble. Work around on the picks. Go ahead. Watch this. He fought through. You see, when Randy Smith went through that pick, Doug Cowens didn't get excited. He didn't lose his poise. He didn't throw that ball out. He knew he had George McGinnis, who was going to give him another pick. Guys like George McGinnis, Tomjanovich, Randy Smith, they get a great thrill out of making that play. They love to make that play. Believe me when I tell you this. So you fans out there, you want to be a good guard, and you want to go one-on-one, practice, work hard, pay the price, and study your defensive man. There we have the behind-the-back pass. Fancy. Don't use it. But there is a time that you can use it, and it should be a part of your overall passing ability. To demonstrate that, we used, in my opinion, the greatest passer that ever played the game. Played his whole career with the Boston Celtics, the one and only Bob Cousy. Guarding him from the New Orleans Jazz, Henry Bibby, playing on the same side as Coos, Nate Williams, also of the New Orleans Jazz. Now, Bob, when you make that pass, what determines the fact that you're going to throw behind your back or no other way? How do you decide that?
Well, I think the point to remember here in any fast-breaking situation is not to predetermine, if you're the middleman or, in this case, in a two-on-one, what pass you'd like to use, but allow the defense to make up your mind for you. That time when we got close to the hoop, Henry committed himself and came over and blocked my outside passing lane. So the only practical way for me to get the ball to Nate was to use the behind-the-back maneuver.
In other words, his head has to be up. He's got to watch the defense. He can't watch the ball when he's dribbling. He's got to see as much of the court as he can. Therefore, when Bob comes down, he waits for Henry Bibby to make his move, and then that determines Bob Cousy's move. And we're going to show you right now 3 other situations that would happen on a 2-on-1 fast break. All right, now let's do the others. You see, Henry Bibby did not commit himself to that outside, so Bob Cousy threw the bounce pass. The bounce pass, in my opinion, is the toughest pass in basketball. Why? Because you've got to realize that when you throw the bounce pass, it's got to come up around the hips. And very often, when a guy is 6'10", and you throw that bounce pass, you throw it at his knees. When a fellow is small, you bounce it might come too high, and he has trouble. So you notice the way that pass gets. All right, do the next one. Watch the defense. Bob Cousy jumped in the air. Now, once you jump in the air, remember, you are committed. So you got to be darn sure that when you leave your feet, that you're going to make a good pass. He saw Henry Bibby's hands up. Rather than force the ball through his hands, he stopped in midair and just handed it right off to him. Very simple shovel pass. All right, do another one. Now watch this closely. He faked it and went in for the shot. The best pass very often is no pass. Because you've got to remember, no pass is a good pass unless somebody catches it. When you're that close to the basket and you can fake a pass, any kind of pass, and then go up for the shot, you're better off. Because while you're passing in such close proximity, anything can happen. It could be too hard, go off a guy's hand, the defense could deflect it, anything could happen out there. So once you can fake him and you see daylight, you must take the shot. Now that is what can happen on a 2-on-1 situation. And I leave you with this simple reminder. No pass is a good pass unless somebody catches it. Beautiful play. That situation usually occurs at the end of a fast break or in any normal 3-on-2 situation. That is what you're trying to get. A simple pass from the middle to the side, a nice bounce pass, or you can use a behind the back if you so desire, as long as it's right up here. Now, demonstrating this thing, we have Bob Cousy, the great passer from the Boston Celtics, making that fine pass from the corner. Elgin Baylor, probably the greatest forward that ever played the game, formerly of the Los Angeles Lakers, now on the coaching staff of the New Orleans Jazz. Aside from him, Ron Behagen, the great young forward of the New Orleans Jazz, Henry Bibby, the guard from the New Orleans Jazz, and the other offensive man, Nate Williams. Now, the guy who determines the whole end of this fast break should be the guy in the middle. Now, Bob, what makes you make the decision who to throw it to, and what do you decide to do?
Well, as you mentioned a moment ago, Arnold, the defense dictates what you're going to do. In this case, you've got an overbalanced situation, 3 offensive men against 2 defensive men. You want to keep it as spread out as possible and establish your triangle. What you want to do is least amount of passing as possible in order to cut down your margin of error.
Sure, because the defense is on its way down.
Absolutely, and you've got to look for the layups.
Now, they're going to demonstrate the same situation again. Now, watch what happens if Elgin Baylor is not careful. Oh, there it is. See, that is not an automatic play. That is not an automatic play. People think that when you have a 3-on-2 and have that triangle, that when you throw to one side, automatically the other guy should be free. Now let's come down. We'll go into the 3-on-2 again. Watch what happens now. Go ahead. All right, there you go. Beautiful play. What did Elgin Baylor do? He faked the pass to Nate Williams, threw it back to Bob Cousy at the point of the triangle. That's what you're trying to do. What's wrong with a foul shot? It's a 60, 70% shot. Settle for this. All right, do it again. Now watch this situation. There you are. The best play of all. Fake your pass, going strong. Actually, you got 2 good options. when you get the ball on the side. Take that shot strong. If you don't have it, and this goes through Elgin Baylor's mind, he's in trouble. He knows that Bob Cousy will be here. So therefore, remember, on a 3-on-2 coming down, the defense is on its way down. You've got to execute quickly. You've got to take advantage of the fact that you have one additional offensive player. So make the play quickly, see what's in front of you, and make up your mind that you're going to score. All right, defensive guard. There we have Lucius Allen of the Los Angeles Lakers. Lucius, you're the defensive guard. You're guarding a guy like Charlie Scott. What goes through your mind?
Basically, defensive balance, forcing him where I want him to go, and concentration.
All right, Charlie, you're on the offense. You know a guy like Lucius Allen is trying to do a job on you. What do you think about?
Basically, I'm trying to take whatever he gives me. If he gives me the baseline, I'll go baseline. Or I'll try to use a pick and roll and get into the middle of the court.
All right, now continue from there, Charlie. Go ahead. All right, hold it. Right there. There we have the John Barrymores of basketball. The latest thing that's happened in the past couple of years. Well, let's take another look. Now watch Lucius Allen, who anticipates Charlie Scott's move. Watch what he does. You find more guys falling on the floor, yelling, backing up, ooh, like they're killed. Why? It has now become a part of the defensive man, especially in the guard position. Everybody feels sorry for the little guys playing guard. So as soon as they yell, ooh, or fall down, this attracts attention, and the referee blows the whistle. Do I advocate it? I hate it. But if it's a part of the strategy of the game, we've got to use it. It's got to be done. All right, let's go right into the jump ball and watch Charlie Scott take the jump. Watch Lucius Allen trying to block the shot or make him take a bad shot. Go ahead. The chances of blocking a shot are very nil. All you could do is have the guy take an off-balance shot or a shot from a bad position. This time, I want you to watch Lucius Allen's arms. He will not jump if his hand is up here. You can't jump that way. He will wait until Charlie Scott jumps, then he will jump. That's the best he could do. If he makes the shot, he's make the shot. Lucius Allen would not stop it. If his hand is up, he can't jump nearly as high anyway because he's got to bring it down first. But here's what often happens. Charlie, give him a pump fake on this thing. See? Now he gets a three-point play. Why? Because he jumped too soon. And as a result, he fouled him, and it was a three-point play. Do that one more time. All right, now, for you young fellows out there, we have certain drills. We can't teach intensity. We can't teach concentration. But we can teach other parts of good defense. Now watch Lucius Allen. Watch his balance. His knees are bent. His head is up. His hands are on his side. Now watch him. This way. This way. Back. Forward. Now you notice his feet never cross. This way. Forward. Okay. Hold up. Now you see, that kind of a drill will straighten your arms, work on your legs. It will also help your concentration. Well, it will come to pass that you'll play defense for the entire game, not just a little bit at a time.
Through, Mike. Through, Mike.
Watch the defense. Look at the position. Look at the position of these guys. Listen to them talk.
Through it, Mike. Slide through it, Mike. Switch it, Mike.
All right, hold it up a second. That's beautiful. We're going to talk about man-to-man defense, but also switching defense. You notice on defense, you got Mike Riordan of the Washington Bullets, Elvin Hayes of the Washington Bullets, got Clem Haskins on offense. They're all from the Washington Bullets. and Wes Unseld on the offense. Elvin Hayes is the back man. He's going to do the initial talking as to when they're going to switch. Now, let's go through this again, a little slower this time, just to demonstrate the point. Listen to Elvin Hayes a minute.
Through it, Mike. Slide through it, Mike. Switch, Mike. Through it, Mike.
Through. Now, you see what he did? He made the decision being the back man. Now, Elvin, how do you determine when to call switch and when not to switch?
I'm watching both offensive players, and also I'm watching my defensive man, Mike. And if I feel that Mike can get through the play, then I'll say, get through it. I'll take a step back to let Mike come through it. But if I feel that we have to switch the play, I want us to come as close together as possible, to hold up my man, to stop him from rolling to the hoop, giving Mike a chance, and then calling the switch.
Mike, how about you? Do you really listen to him in a ball game and pay attention to what he says, or do you act by instinct?
I expect my teammates to talk to me because when you're playing out front like that, you don't have the opportunity to look behind, so your teammates have to let you know where the screens are and exactly what to do. Otherwise, if we're not communicating on the floor, it's going to be a case of two of us winding up on one.
Well, that's a good answer. Now, what they're going to do now is not a man-to-man switching situation, but they're going to show you what happens when Elvin decides to trap. If he's not listening, they would never do that. So they're going to deviate from the switch and the man-to-man and go into a trap. Now, go ahead, try that. Watch Elvin Hayes make up his mind when to trap.
Watch trap, Mike.
There he goes. Okay, Elvin made the decision. The back man made that decision. See, a lot of coaches teach defense, but the main thing in defense is the concentration, the determination. I've got you, you're not going to score. I need help, and I'm going to get help if we play as a team. Now, we've had man-to-man, we've had switching, we've had the trap. Now, I want you to watch Wes Unseld putting a pick on Mike Riordan and listen to Elvin. Give him the ball.
Left, Mike. Over the top.
All right, come on back. Keep going. Keep going.
Over the top, Mike.
All right.
Switch, Mike.
There he is. See, he called it. That's the whole key. Elvin made the decision. It's up to Elvin to watch him to see if he gets through. If he gets through, he's going to let him go. Otherwise, he's going to switch. I don't care where you're playing, whether it's in junior high school, playground, club, or NBA. You have got to talk to each other. That's not childish. That's the game. This is a team game, and let's play it like a team game.
Well, here we are. Elgin Baylor, one of the great forwards to ever play the game. To play forward, you've got to be very versatile. You've got to know how to play guard. You've got to know how to play center. You may be called to bring the ball down. You may be called on to go into the pivot. Today, they've made it a little more special. They have what we call quick forwards or power forwards. The power forwards usually are the ex-centers that take up a lot of room and do a lot of blocking and rebounding and so forth and so on. So to play the forward position, fundamentally, you've got to know the guard position, you've got to know the center position, as well as your own position. So it's a hard job. Be ready for it.
Call it. That's Elgin Baylor with the ball, probably the greatest forward to ever play the game. He used to play with the Los Angeles Lakers, now on the coaching staff of the New Orleans Jazz. Guarding him is Ron Behagen, the supreme forward of the New Orleans Jazz. Now, Elgin, you got that ball just where you want it, right? On the court. How did you do that?
Well, Red, I try to fake as though I'm just going across the top and sort of use my body to make a little contact, start one way and then spring back the opposite way.
Well, actually, you went into him. Rather than trying to elude or evade him, you went into him and bounced back, right?
Right. I just try to use my body and not use my arm or hand to push him away so I wouldn't get an offensive foul.
Now, today, a lot of players do that. but they get caught at it because they use their hand. They get carried away, and they'll go into a player and push him and pop back. He used to do it, and I believe he was the first one to do it, just to walk over to the man as part of his moving, and the man would be so surprised who's guarding him. Here he's trying to play him close, and the guy gets closer. But then he pops out. Now, here's where he wants the ball. Now, come here, Ron. You're guarding him. Now, you got the ball there. Now, what do?
Well, then I'd, try to make my move, Red. Try to work him this way, that, then go to the baseline.
You see, he found out, and he knows, from this position as a forward, he can go any way he wants. Now, he went baseline that time. Go the other way and show the move you'd make.
Okay, I try to get him this way first, and then start this way, then goes to my left.
All right, now, this time, I want you to watch this. You stay with him, Ron. I want you to stop and take a jump shot. I want you to jump. Now, if you miss the shot, you know what to do. Watch it. All right, there it is. Hold it. Now, you see what he did? That was a perfect demonstration of the greatness of Elgin Baylor. I don't care how good the man guarding him could jump. He was so quick on his release and had such reaction that before Ron Behagen could come down, Elgin was past him. Even though he went for the shot and followed through, he was past him. Now, Elgin, take him in the pivot. Assuming that he's a smaller guy, here's a guy like Elgin, watch him work from the pivot. See, he turn around, hold it. If a guy's guarding him who's his size, what does he do? He turns around and dares him. Go ahead, make your move. Now, he's by him. See, that's the whole thing. Now, when you are quick as a cat and weigh 230 some odd pounds and you got great body control, you're going to get an awful lot of second efforts. I remember we used to guard him, and we used to say, you're not going to stop Elgin, but by golly, see that he doesn't get that second shot. Now, here's an amazing thing about this man as a forward in the NBA. We knew, although he'll deny it, he never could shoot that well with his left hand. But he didn't have to, because he was so great and get the shot anytime, any way he wanted on the right side and use his whole left area for faking and feigning. So I just want to pay tribute to, in my opinion, the greatest forward that played the game. All right, here we have Elvin Hayes on the offense of the Washington Bullets. You got Paul Silas on the defense of the Boston Celtics. There are very few big men that have the versatility to play the corner position in all its phases, and at the same time, if they're guarded by a smaller man, go right in and become the pivot man. Elvin Hayes is one of those unique players. For example, watch this move. Watch him drive to the hoop from the corner position. You see, there are very few men his size that are such great shooters that can fake that shot and still go for that hoop. Now, in order to stop him from making moves like that, you put a smaller man on him. As soon as he sees that, he becomes a pivot man. Now, he's a corner man facing the basket, and he'll come around and post it up. By posting, we mean he's going into a pivot position with his back to the basket and making his moves from there. Go ahead. And he'll either take a fadeaway jump or this time take a bounce and take a hook, Elvin. Start out facing the basket. Cut in deep, cut in deep. Now, there he is. Now, when do you decide, Elvin, what you're going to do out there, whether you're going to become a corner man in its phase or the pivot man?
Well, if you have a guy maybe 6'10" on you, it's pretty tough trying to out-jump him consistently inside, so you want to take him outside. And if I feel like I have a guy 6'5" or 6'6", then you want to take him inside, because I feel that then I have the advantage. I want to try to get the ball as low as possible, get position, and go straight up for the shot.
You see what he does? He uses his height, he uses his strength, but above all, he uses his head. Now, Paul, you got a guy like Elvin, and not many players that can do the things he does outside, inside. Now, what goes through your mind when you're guarding him?
Well, specifically, I don't want Elvin to post me up low because I know that I can't bother his shot if he jumps over me, so I'd rather take my chances with him shooting from the outside. I feel that I'm quick enough to stop that drive to the hoop, so I don't want him to post me up. Other players, I would rather them post me up because I can outmuscle them.
You see, what he's bringing out there is simply this. You study your opponent. You know what he can do. He knows how far he could shoot with accuracy. He knows that he could take him inside. And that goes through his mind before the game starts. You got to watch out for these guys that can play both positions. If you're an Elvin Hayes, the first thing he does is check the guy that's guarding him. He's got to decide whether to post the guy, take him outside, use a fadeaway jump, use a regular jump, go into the pivot, take the hooks, and still help out rebounding. So remember out there, think. It's a thinking game. Scout, make decisions, and remember what you see. You hear the expression, power forward, quick forward. Well, Bob Love is a combination of both. Watch John Havlicek playing him, not trying to let him get the ball. Now, he wants to get the ball right there. Hold it. There, baby. Now, this position there is 3/4 of the way from the out-of-bounds line at the end of the court and about 4 feet from the sideline. This position is the most devastating position for a corner man on the floor. Right here, he can do many, many things. Watch this move. He'll come back, he'll get the ball, watch the move. One bounce, in for the layup. All right, now let's come back again and do this on the same move, going the other way. Watch the move. All right, now he went right, he went left. Now watch him maneuver Havlicek now. In the pivot, little fake, little hook. He used this only or primarily when he feels he can overpower the man guarding him, who might be smaller, he might be not as aggressive. There are many, many reasons why he might take him into pivot. But must always remember that this is the position that he could do so many things from. Now, John knows he's been scoring from that position, therefore he's going to overplay him. Now he'll come out and he'll backdoor him. That is what we call a backdoor. They could call it backdoor, they could call it pulling the string, anything they want. There it is. Very, very simple maneuver. All good cornermen that move without the ball use this all the time. Now, after this, John is now completely worried. So Havlicek, playing the defense, is going to play down. Now he's going to take a shot. Watch this. Just stand there and shoot that ball. Very simple. Now, he's done it all as far as that corner position is concerned. He's going left. He's going right. He's played the pivot. He's pulled the string or backdoored the man. Now he's taking a shot. What else is there for a quick corner man to do or a power forward to do? Rebound. So what happens? If I come down here and I fake him and I can't get that ball to him on a power forward, I'll take a shot and he's got the position for the rebound. So even if you do not get the ball, are in better position for a rebound because the guy can't box you out because you now have the inside position.
The most important man in building a ball club is the center. You've got to have the big guy. He's closest to the basket. He's in a good position to score points. But most important, he can get the rebound because he's in the defensive position. And once he gets the rebound, he's got to get the ball out. That's also very important. Without the big guy, you can't have the ball. Without the ball, you can't score. And if you can't score, you can't win. And that's it.
What we're going to talk about today is the pivot play. Position in the pivot. Where he wants the ball, how he's going to get it, what he does without shooting the ball. We know that most people think about pivot play as a big guy going as deep as he can, turning around and hooking the ball. There's a lot more to it than that. Now, here's what I want you to watch as a start. When Dave Cowens is playing the pivot, he wants to get this position right here, as close as he can on this side of the basket. The guy guarding him knows this. He wants to stop him from getting this position. Now, Dave will feel him. If he overplays him here, watch his arm up there. If I'm out here with the ball, he's got him and he signals me where he wants to pass. That's the whole key to a good pivot man. He knows where the defensive man is. He signals where he wants the ball. Now, most guards who are 5'6", 5'8", 6 foot, 6'2", they always have a tendency to do this, bounce the ball. Once they bounce the ball to the pivot man, they make him the size that they are, and that's wrong. Dave, now you're going to play the pivot. This is Dave Cowens of the Boston Celtics. You all recognize him. Dave, what do you think about when you're going to play the pivot position?
Well, everybody has their special spot, and mine is down here on the right-hand side of the floor coming down, and I want to get as low as possible because this is where I have most chance of scoring. I'm left-handed. I can throw the ball into the middle. You know, I can come a quick baseline move. It just depends on how Jim is playing me as to what I do.
All right, now that's Jim Odd, the backup center today with the Boston Celtics. Jim, what do you think about when you're in a ball game playing anybody as a defensive center?
Well, first of all, I try to realize the positions that most centers want the ball, and most of the centers like the ball as low as possible. So I'll fight Dave for the spot that he likes best.
In other words, mostly on that side.
Right, on this side.
So you'll concede the ball to his left hand this way. Now, Dave's got a lot of moves off of that play. He could shoot from that position. He's close enough. He could turn around and take a jump shot. He could do many, many things. His purpose is to get the ball strong where he wants it. Well, here we are in a continuation to show what a good pivot man or center man could do other than just shoot. Watch this play. There's a pass off from Dave Cowens to Charlie Scott on a simple give and go. The pivot man or center man is a focal point in a great many of your plays in wheeling dealing. Now, the center man, in this case, of course, Dave Cowens playing the offense, with Charlie Scott on the offense, Glenn McDonald and Jim Odd, those two playing the defense. Now, this time, we're going to run the same play, but watch Dave Cowens. He fake it to Charlie, come around and take his hook. He felt the defense. He saw the defensive man switch. Therefore, he knows that the next time he gets that ball, all he has to do is fake to Charlie Scott and keep it himself. Now, remember, the center guy adjusts his game as part of a team to what the defense does. Now, watch Dave Cowens on this play. Right. He's got the inside on the rebound in the event that Charlie Scott missed that shot. Do that again real quick. Take the shot. All right, now watch Dave Cowens on this play. Watch him on the play. Fooled everybody. Fooled everybody. Everybody thought Charlie Scott was coming around and using that screen from Dave Cowens. But that's where the big man is so great. He never gives away what's going to happen. Everybody out there thought that Charlie Scott was going to use Dave Cowens and take that shot, when all he did was fake him, went right directly to the hoop. Now, that's some of the actions of a center. He's got to be in the rebounding position. He's got to get the ball. He's got to protect the ball. He can't lose it. He can't bring it down where the little guys. Go back here, give him that ball, Charlie. Got him here. Bring the ball down. Watch McDonald take that ball away from. Watch Dave now. See, if he does that, he's in trouble. Now do it again. Hold the ball up. See, that ball is up in his elbows. He's got it protected. That's the key to this game. You can't lose that ball. No way. When you got that ball, it's very, very important that you get a shot. If you make it, that's another story. Now we're going to show you some more of the versatility of a great center. Presumably, Dave Cowens just got a rebound on the other end. He transfers from the defense to the offense, and here's what happens. Come on. There's a break. Trailer right. There's Dave Cowens, the trailer. Dave went from the defensive rebounder all the way down to make the basket. So you young players out there, remember one thing. You've got to learn that there are two sides to this game. Offense, defense. If you're on the defense and you get the ball, you are now part of the offense. That is not the time to rest. If you want to rest, get on the bench. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, in my opinion, the greatest offensive scoring threat in the history of basketball. He took that sky hook, as commonly called. Why? For the simple reason he uses his height to a good advantage. Watch him use his height. He can do so many things, and so well. Now watch him get positioned for the ball with a man trying to front him. There he is. He gets the ball. They hold it. Now, Kareem, what were you trying to do with Alvan Adams guarding you from Phoenix? Is this a position you like right here?
Yeah, I usually try and get it here because I can do all of my offensive moves from it.
See, that's the whole key. Right here, in this position, he knows so many different things that he can do. Now, Alvin, when you're playing a guy like Kareem, do you watch him? Do you hold him? Do you touch him? Or what's your move?
His sky hook being one of the most effective offensive weapons in the NBA, we just can't give him that shot. So during the course of the game, I try to front him. And eventually, if they swing the ball, or eventually if I get tired, I'll end up behind him. And once I do, there's his sky hook.
Don't you play a lot?
Yeah.
All right, I'll throw you the ball. He'll get the ball there. Now just watch some of these moves. We'll do that again, you know. We don't like to miss them. Okay. Kareem, you feel him, don't you? You know exactly where he is. He not only feels him when he bounces that ball, but he looks with this little peripheral vision out there. He looks. Am I right? All right, let's do it one time. We'll just demonstrate that thing. All right. He signaled for the ball. He felt him the whole time. He felt him the whole time. Well, play him the other side. Play him the other side. Right there. He wants the ball. See that move, that quickness, that agility? That's what counts. All right, fake him up and drive around him. Push him out. See, he pushed him out a little bit. He couldn't get the ball where he wants. Now watch. See? Sometimes he bounces it, sometimes he don't. All right, fake him that time and go around this way, will you? Watch this move. How about that? Now, when you were winning the game, and I remember you back in high school when you came in our dressing room and so forth, did you spend much time on developing your shooting, your touch?
I've been playing ball since I was 7 or 8 years old, and after a while you instinctively learn how to shoot. My big problem was agility and stamina.
See, a lot of people think that just because he happens to be tall, he didn't spend all this time working. I know he did, because I followed his career for many years. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar got all the moves. He worked hours and hours and hours on shooting and developed a touch, but most important, as I said, he's the greatest offensive threat. I talked to his coach, talked to his players. He is unselfish. All he wants to do is win. He'll pass that ball if he feels anybody has got a better shot. I want to congratulate you on a great job that you do out there playing the pivot. It's wonderful.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. There we go. Now, what good is possession of the ball? What good is great defense if you got a big man that may throw the ball away? Now we have Wes Unseld, in my opinion, the best passing big man in the game today. Guarding Elvin Hayes, also from the Washington Bullets, Clem Haskins on the defense from the Bullets, and Mike Riordan also from the Bullets. Now what we're trying to do is to show that even though you're a good rebounder and get the ball, it's too easy to throw away. Now we just demonstrated Wes Unseld throwing the ball on a two-handed outlet pass. Now Wes, how do you feel about that? How do you prefer to throw it?
Well, Red, I think I would rather come down on the floor, get my position, and then make the pass.
Well, that's an interesting point, because a lot of kids that throw it in the air, they throw it as they get the ball, and they don't look, and they throw it away. So your most important point is to lift your head up first, see what you're going to do, and then make the throw.
That's right.
All right, now, Mike, take the shot again. You got him, Clem. Wes, do it this time with the one hand. All right. All right, just a little sidebar here. Now, you notice that Clem Haskins, who was guarding Mike Riordan on the play, as soon as that shot went up and he saw that Wes was going to get the rebound, he immediately went from the defense to the offense on the side, knowing that Wes Unseld will get him the ball. All right, now let's go into a pivot. You're in a pivot, Wes. You got the offense. Mike, you're on the defense. Now watch how a big man operates from the pivot. All right, now that's a little shovel pass. Now you notice when Wes threw that pass, he didn't hit him with the ball, but you notice how he just gave it a little shovel pass. Very simple. What's your objective when you're making a little simple play like that?
Well, to give the man a good pass.
Exactly.
The other thing is to hide that ball. Don't let this man behind me see what I'm going to do with it.
That's right. In other words, you're protecting it with your elbows and your body, and you're hiding the ball. Now, that's a good point. Okay, cut by him again. Now, watch this pass. Now, there's a little hook pass. Beautiful play. A simple, over-the-head pass. What is the objective of all passing? Somebody's got to catch it. You don't want to see how strong you are, how tough you are, how hard you can throw the ball. You want him to catch it. That's the purpose of it. Now, you fans out there, remember one thing. Possession of this ball is the all-important thing. Don't try to show off and make those crazy passes, or when you get a rebound, go like this and grin so somebody will take your picture. Meanwhile, you hold up the whole ball game. Get that ball out of there, but make sure one of your men catch it. Hold it up. Got a shot. The fellow you saw taking those hook shots is Dave Cowens, the premier center of the Boston Celtics. Guarding him, the ace center of the Portland Trail Blazers, Bill Walton. Doing the feeding, John Havlicek, captain of the Boston Celtics. We're going to talk about and demonstrate offensive moves off the pivot. We know how to get the ball. We've showed you how to get the ball into the pivot. Now, Dave, when you're playing the pivot, you got a guy like Bill Walton guarding you, and the ball comes into you. What goes through your mind?
Well, hopefully, when I receive the ball, I have not established the pivot foot yet. I can go either way. I can pivot on either one. I want to be on balance. Now, usually, after playing a number of games, you know by looking at the floor where you are in relation to the basket. But I like to look at the basket because, before you shoot, you have to look at it. That way you can see where the guy is that's guarding you if he's not touching you. If he's touching you, then you know. Now, sometimes you just make an instinctive move and just wheel on a guy. You know where he is when you get the ball. He's overplaying you on one side or the other. You get it, and you turn, and you trap him with your leg. Other than that, you have your hooks and...
Before we do that,
whatever.
You made a very interesting point that I believed in and still believe in, that you play a lot of basketball by knowing where you are without looking at the basket. All you do is look at the lines on the floor, and they know exactly where they are. Now, we're going to demonstrate some of these shots. Now, Bill, you guard Dave, and he's going to go through the motions with Dave as if he was guarding him in a game, but we're going to have Dave go through many offensive moves, one right after another, so watch it. Turn around, face the basket. Okay. All right, now do the pump. Same thing with the pump. He found out where he was, and he made that move. This time, take a jump shot. All right, this time, turn around, face the basket for the shot, fake the shot, and go. Now the center becomes a forward. The good center must have all of those moves. All right, now take him and use his feet. Watch this on a wheeling around. Play him tough. Play him close. Watch the feet. You see what Dave did? He took this left foot because he felt Bill Walton back here. He faked here, used his foot, and came back this way to get a good spin. Let's do that one again. Watch this closely. All right, here's the message for you. Learning all these moves from the pivot takes a lot of work. You've got to do it with both hands, both sides. You got to fake left, go right, fake right, go left, turn around, face the basket. All those moves. Now, do you decide some of these moves before you get the ball?
Not usually, no.
Now, there's a good point. He decides his move after he gets the ball. Then he sees what's going to happen. Work hard at it. Become a good offensive player because you're close to the basket. You're not going to get any closer. So let's work at it. All right, hold it up. Now we have Bill Walton from the Portland Trail Blazers blocking that shot. Driving for the basket, Ernie DiGregorio for the Buffalo Braves, and playing the offensive pivot, Dave Cowens of the Boston Celtics. What you saw is what he does as good as anybody in the game of basketball today. In my opinion, the only guy that I ever saw do it better was the great Bill Russell. Now let's try that again and we'll explain it. Come on. All right. He not only blocked the shot, but he wanted to block it and still be in position where he or one of his teammates can get the ball. You see, a lot of shot blockers, all they do is just slap the ball and swat it. Do that one time. Drive in and just swat the ball out of bounds. All right. Now, what did he gain? The other team still has the ball. He has gained very little. Fun. The trick is not only to intimidate, block the shot, but also, if possible, to get the ball. Now, Ernie DiGregorio, being a smart ball player, he knows Bill Walton is hanging around in there guarding Dave Cowens. Now, let's see what goes through his mind, knowing that he might leave Dave and block the shot. Watch this closely. Okay. Ernie D did not try to make that basket. He knew that Bill Walton was going to jump and try to block that shot, so he just threw it off the backboard for Dave. Now let's get to the basics of this thing. Bill, as I said, you're the premier shot blocker in the NBA.
I think it's a great skill. I think it's an art. Now, when a guy is driving for the basket, what goes through your mind?
Well, there's two things that I think about when I'm trying to block a shot. One is patience. I always try to wait and wait and wait, like particularly on a smaller man like Ernie. Now, it's a different situation than, say, a big man is driving because you got to rely more on luck and timing than on patience. But besides patience, you have to try to cut down the options of the offensive man. When a man's coming down the lane trying to make a layup or a short shot, and I go for the block, I try to make him shoot the shot that I want him to shoot.
Mm-hmm. Like in a case like that, if you're guarding Dave, let's show one thing. Take the ball back again, Ernie. Make believe you're going to block Ernie's shot and stay with Dave. Now watch this. All right, now he intimidated Ernie DiGregorio. He made him change his move. He made him hesitate. A lot of young players out there goes through their mind to become shot blockers because it looks so good. It's beautiful. Every time a guy blocks a shot, it's a great thing. But oftentimes, they sacrifice good, sound, basic defense by continually putting themselves in the air. I mean, many times a guy could go up in the air with you and hand off to the other center. Do that, Ernie.
Off the top and underneath my arm.
Very simple move. Therefore, a great shot blocker is a guy, as Bill Walton has just said, is a guy who picks his spots. He does not make a career out of blocking shots, but uses it as a very potent defensive weapon. You've just seen some of the skills of the great centers in basketball. But there it is. Number 6, the great Bill Russell. In my opinion, not only the greatest center who ever lived, but the greatest basketball player who ever lived. Why? He had this, the heart. He had this, the smarts. He had reaction. He had anticipation. For example, when he blocked shots, he didn't just slap it away. He revolutionized it. He popped it so he'd come down with the ball. But his greatest skill, his most important value, was to the team. He had this loyalty to the team. The team came first with Bill Russell, and that was his greatness.
Did you see that rebound? That rebound was made by Bill Russell, in my opinion, the greatest basketball player that ever played the game. Russ, you're playing Bob McAdoo, who's facing the basket. He's a quick center, good offensive rebounder. He's going to be facing the basket. How would you play him now?
First of all, I want to make sure that they can't, when he's going, that they can't pass it to him. So I got to cut that off. Now, if we get into here, I'll take a blocking out position. Now,
do the blocking out position.
Now, it's in here. I'm down low.
Now, watch on that blocking out position.
See,
watch how low he is. Watch his hands. He's got this man right here.
Now, I don't have it out here. I got it right here.
Low.
It's almost a natural position. Okay, I'm down low now, but so that he can't push me. If he goes over this way, I can also go right with him. You see? If he goes the other way, same thing. I'm in here.
You see that balance? You see the knees bent? The knees are bent, aren't they, Russ? Good balance.
This gives me quickness and strength, because he can't push me out of the way. And the other thing is, that I want to have, is if the ball comes off, that I can reach into here and get it. Or when I jump, so that when I jump, we're not both in here going after the ball, that I have this distance.
In other words, you have the extension forward rather than high.
That's why I wouldn't push him with my shoulders. So you see a lot of guys, they hold position like this. So when we jump, we're both up in here. Whereas if I hold position in here, when we jump, I'm in here.
And he can't get past you without fouling you.
Right.
All right, now, you explained something to me a while ago about the position of your hands in this position.
Okay.
Why are your hands in this position?
Well, now, suppose we're here, and I'm in a holding out position like this. And Bob makes a quick move and steps right across here to go, to fight for position. Now, which is a good move? If I got my hand here,
This is as far as he's going.
You see that? See this hand here, how he's got him? Right in there.
See,
that's so important.
Now, I haven't moved the hand. I did not move the hand.
That's right. Now, what about your other hand?
Okay, I've stopped him now. My move is in here again. Now, if I'm holding him here, for example, now we're here, and the ball bounces, I can reach at it with this one. I can in here. The point I'm making is his position.
That's right. Now, here's the greatest rebounder that ever played the game. And you notice the science that we've discussed relative to his boxing out first and then covering all the territory. Now, I'm going to throw the ball up a couple of times. You go for the ball. Russ, you get the rebound. He won't hurt you. These young kids won't. No, he won't. All right, now, shot.
Okay, now the shot's taken.
There you go. You notice how Bill Russell has Bob McAdoo completely under control. Let's do it again. All right, this time, play the pivot. Put your back to him. All right, now swing on him. Now, when he gets that ball, you notice how he protected it. His elbows were out. He had complete protection of that ball. He has him completely under control. But the main thing is, when we discussed about rebounding, you can't win without the ball. The single most important thing is get the ball. Every time they take a shot, you say to yourself, they'll get one shot. We'll get the ball. The blocked shot. Is it luck? Is it good timing? Is it anticipation? Bill Russell, the man who not only popularized it, but had it down to an exact science. Bill Russell, the old Boston Celtics, now the coach of Seattle Supersonics. What is a shot block? What is a block shot?
Well, I call it action, because it's not a reaction. You can't, when you block a shot of reaction, then you're lucky. In other words, it's just jumping ability. There's more to it than that. I was explaining to Bob a minute ago.
Bob McAdoo of the Buffalo Braves.
Everybody knows him.
Yeah, I know him.
No, what I mean is now, for a guy, example, a guy like him, if I just play him straight away, there's no way I'm going to stop him. Okay, so now going to his right, it's 2 or 3 points every time. It's a dunk shot, a layup, or 2 free throws. So what I would try to do with a guy like Bob, I'd overplay him. He's got the ball. I'd overplay him here. So now what I've done is I've taken away him going to the right. And I'm close enough so if he puts it on the floor, I can knock it loose. So I'm making him dribble with his left hand. So that's the reason I'm so close to him here, is to make him go with his left hand, dribbling, so that slows him down a little bit. Now, if I let him go all the way to the hoop, he'll dunk it, though. So that means I got to stay ahead of him. And the idea is to slide here, and wait. Now, but what I did is I eliminated half his options by taking away his right. Now, the idea is, when I go up to block the shot, I'm going to try to sweep it that way.
You don't slap it?
No. Now, see, now if I sweep it there, now I got an angle to go after it.
In other words, Bill Russell was trying to say that when he plays one man to man, and wants to shut him off and block his shot, he studies that man. It's not a matter of letting the man make his move and then blocking the shot. Actually, you're blocking his shot before he starts his play. Now, when he goes to the left over there, as you had him, and he came up for the shot, as soon as his feet left the ground, Bill Russell knows he's committed. Right. Then you yourself can leave your feet. All right, dribble right across the center and take a jump shot. Russell's going to play you. Let's see how he plays you relative to blocking the shot. Go ahead. All right. How'd you like to play basketball and have that character right in front of you with those long
now,
arms?
On that play, he's giving me a break. He's giving me a break, but on that play...
Do it quick for the old man.
Don't tell him that.
Do it quick.
No, what I'm trying to say, see, when I just keep my hand up.
You made him miss.
I fouled him.
Don't
say that.
Don't ever admit that you fouled anybody. I can't buy that at all. Don't ever admit that.
Well, no, see,
what
I'm
I'm
trying to do
Come
is,
on.
now, for example, when he gives me a fake, I put my hands up, and I leave him up.
Yeah, but you still got your knees a little bit, right?
Now, say he gives me a fake. I keep my hands up. He's still shooting over my hands.
Oh, in other words, what Bill Russell was trying to say is, when his hands are up and he jumps, he does not bring his hands down to jump up a little higher. All he has to do is intimidate Bill Russell, the greatest of them all. He dominated NBA centers for 13 years. Not only that, he intimidated the entire offensive flow of the game. We have a little guy here, Tiny Archibald, the great player from the Kansas City Kings. Tiny, take a layup. Now, you never played against Bill Russell, see? So we just want to give you an idea. Just take a layup. He's guarding the man. Watch what he does.
Now, what I got to do now is come in here. Now, jump.
That is what is called intimidation.
Now, I got to try to make him think I'm going to jump.
Intimidation.
Now, I'm ready to play this guy, and I'm ready to take this shot and try to steal the pass.
You see, there's more to blocking the shot than blocking the shot. A lot of Bill Russell's great effectiveness was because people were so scared that he was going to block their shot and they would look bad that they would miss the shot anyway.
If he comes a little more over that way, Tiny.
Oh, get over there.
Now, see, what I want to do is this, is that what makes him really tough, Tiny comes in, he comes in here, and you go here, and he dishes off.
All right.
Right?
Then what are you going to do?
First thing, I have to put this hand out. Try to, you know, jump like this and put this hand out to try to see if we can get any luck. But what I want to do is here, is when he comes in, I want to eliminate the guy he's dishing off to.
Then what are you going to do?
Then I got to, first thing, I have to put this hand out. Now, I'm ready to block a shot right now. I'm ready to take it.
No matter who's going to shoot it?
No matter who takes it, right now I'm ready for it.
Within what area?
Anywhere in here. I'm trying to eliminate the pass here. So what I'm going to do is get an angle and watch here.
It's very good. Now, you see what happens here. Bill Russell knows that not only is he a great scorer and has great quickness and can go in for the layup, but he can fake the layup and pass off to Bill Russell's man. So as he said, he had this hand out to eliminate that, and still, you notice how nice and soft he blocks the shot? I want to do this again. Go ahead, do it fast, Tiny. Go fast. Now, hold it. Now, do you see that? Do you see Russell block that shot and come down with it? Remember, the secret of blocking a shot is to get possession of the ball. Bill Russell always realized when he was blocking shots that the defense relative to his man came first. The blocked shot was second. To sum it all up for you fans, don't overdo this shot blocking. Don't be a slammer, a slasher, and sacrifice all the other aspects of the defense just to block a shot. But remember, every time you do block a shot, please try to get the ball.
Look at those old balls through the years. People don't realize that they, too, have changed. Here's a new ball. Not only is it round, but it stays round. It has the seams on it. They're there for a purpose. They're there to make you shoot better. Take all the great shooters. They used to put their fingertips right on the seam to get that friction, to get that feel. So they get that backward rotation, and sometimes when it hits the rim, it has a tendency to fall down in there. So remember, while practicing your shooting, feel for the seams, don't look at the ball, and work hard at it, and you'll become a darn good shooter. Well, they went in. Now, that's David Thompson of the Denver Nuggets, guarded by Brian Winters of the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, David, in taking that shot, the man's hand was in your face. It didn't bother you. We're going to show the fans out there how similar it is to a simple little game. Now, I'm going to drop this bill, and I want you to catch it with your two fingers. Oh, he didn't catch it. You know why he didn't catch it? Because actually it's impossible to catch it. You might do it luckily, you might guess, just like Brian Winters can guess and block a shot. He knows this. He knows that when he shoots, that ball is going to go up there before Brian can react. Take another one. Put your hand out here. Watch him watch his shoulders and his hand. All right, now take the ball, take a dribble at him. Now let's see him react. All right, now when you took that shot, when you took that jump shot, how do you take the jump shot?
Well, I made a move and a little body fake, and he reacted to my move by stepping back, and that left me open for the shot.
Now, when you take that shot, you go straight up. You don't worry about going into the guy or jumping backwards that he might block your shot. You go straight up, facing the basket, because that's your most comfortable position. Is that right?
Right, exactly.
All right, now, if he does not react, you might fake him and go straight through from a guard position. Let's see that. Now, watch this. He's going to fake the stop and the shot. He's going to go. There you are. Now, what does that do? That keeps the guy honest, right? Now he can't react. He doesn't know what you're going to do. All right, this time, take the dribble right at him, fake the shot, pump, and then take the shot. As many times as you want. Now, a good offensive man reacts from the moves of the defensive man. Now, this time I want you to take the ball, go at him. I want you to jump in the air to block the shot on the jump shot. Now, make your move. Now, watch what he does this time. Now, what did you do? Just like he said a moment ago. He waited for Brian Winters to react, go in the air. He wasn't in no hurry. You were in no hurry, right? While he's coming down, then you go up.
Right. I knew that he couldn't react to my jumping up before, I had a chance to make a really good shot.
Now, for you young players out there, one thing you've got to know. Don't be afraid for a guy to block your shot. For every one he blocks, if you do what David Thompson said and watch the defensive man, you score 10 baskets. So don't panic. And don't be afraid if a guy blocks your shot. Keep your poise. Keep your fingers on that ball. Get that backspin. And keep your body facing that basket. And those shots will go in. Stay with him! There we have Julius Erving, Dr. J of the Philadelphia 76ers, guarded by Bob Dandridge of the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, you dunked the ball. You stole the ball. You came down on a fast break. You dunked it. Why did you dunk it?
Well, to me, I feel a dunk is a 100% shot. And, when a guy is in pursuit of me like that, I don't want to take a chance of him knocking the ball away or catching me from behind. And a guy can run a lot faster than I can dribble.
All right, now we know you have extraordinary body control. You have extraordinary leaping ability. You have extraordinary quickness. But a lot of people don't know that you also have big, huge, powerful hands. So let me see. See? He gets that ball. He's got control. I've seen a lot of guys dunk the ball, and it slips, and they miss it. A good example is a friend of mine, the greatest high jumper in the world, John Thomas. Took him 3 years to learn how to dunk the ball because his hands were small. Every time he got up there, it slipped out. But Julius has the big hands, has the big control. Now, that's one way to dunk. What other ways are there to dunk? Show me. You got him. Hold it. You got him.
I think if you got to get a guy in a low post, if you can fake one way and go the other and just come in and power the ball to the basket with two hands.
Stay with him. Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Stay with him, Bob. As I said, he has this great body control. He dunks it any way at all. Now, when you get within a range, you look at the floor, don't you? You know where you are.
I know the floor, yeah.
You know the floor. Therefore, when you're anywhere in this area, with your leaping ability and your body control, don't you try to dunk it 90% of the time?
Well, if my legs feel strong on that particular night, I do.
It's according to what part of the game it is and how tired you are, because you still have to go up there. But what I'm trying to get across, a lot of people can dunk the ball.
They could do it in practice. They could do it when nobody's guarding them. But the secret of dunking the ball is to do it under game conditions with guys right on you. Isn't that the point?
That's the toughest time to do it.
All right, just show us a few different kind of dunks. Watch it now. Go ahead. Stay with him, stay with him, stay with him. Notice how he raises that hand way up to get it out of the reach of Bob Dandridge. Stay with him, Bob. That's the whole key. Stay with him. Practice, body control, do it under game conditions, and you'll find that the dunk shot is more than just a flashy, good-looking type of move. It really is a strong offensive play. There we have a play with Pete Maravich of the New Orleans Jazz as the passer, David Thompson getting the pass on an alley-oop, which he made famous. Now that's a hard play to stop because David Thompson has now got the inside position. But the most important thing on that simple-looking play is the eye-to-eye contact or any kind of communication between Pete Maravich and David Thompson. That's the key. But with all that, you've got to have a great passer to do it. He's got to know exactly where to pass that ball. Where do you like to get that ball passed?
I like to get the ball above the rim, about a foot away from the basket, so I can receive the ball in my momentum. Going to the hoop can carry me in to make the stuff.
Well, remember now, it's got to be a perfect pass with you getting the inside of this man. But the main thing is you've got to maneuver him around to get in that position. I remember one thing. Don't try it unless you got real good jumping ability, good timing, good teammate, a guy that's going to give up the ball. But all we're trying to show you is you have a special skill. Take advantage of it. If you got this leaping ability, take advantage of it. Don't just play somebody else's game. Whatever special skill you got, use it. Back, move it back, come on. Again. All right, hold it. Now, we're going to talk about Julius Erving of the Philadelphia 76ers, known as Dr. J, guarded by Bob Dandridge of the Milwaukee Bucks, Pete Maravich, who's going to do the passing, of the New Orleans Jazz, and Brian Winters of the Milwaukee Bucks playing the defense. Now, I stopped you right there. You're playing the corner position. You're the ideal corner man. Quick, shoot, drive, so forth. What goes through your mind relative to what you're going to do? You get the ball where you want it. Now, what do?
Usually when I get it, I like to have three options so that I can either make a pass or, take my shot if the defense is off of me, or put the ball on the floor. And if I have those three options, then I think, I have an advantage over the defensive player.
Now, Dr. J, when he's going to the hoop, he's going strong. All right, let's start it up. Give him the ball. Move around. Play him tough. All right. Watch it. Go ahead. He'll get your move. Goes into him. Go ahead. Drive. Drive on him now. All right. Now, what did he do then? He just maneuvered Bob Dandridge to where Bob did not know whether he's going to go right or left. All right, this time do the same thing and backdoor him. That's it. All right. On this play, I want you to watch a simple pick and roll, but what is it? It's the corner man, a guy that plays the corner. Now, we've shown you when he has a shot, he takes a shot. You know he could drive one bounce this way, one bounce this way, but he's got to be a passer. This is a two-way street. For you to get the ball playing the corner, you got to give it up too. Now watch what happens. Go ahead. There's the pass. Good play. Simple pick and roll on that play. Because remember, to get the ball in any ball game, the guards will like to give it to you, but every once in a while, they want it back. And he knows that. Use your screens. Use your set shot. But be active. If he overplays him, he's going to be in a position for an offensive rebound. Now watch this. Fake the pass, backdoor him, but you take the shot, you get the rebound. Play him tough. Now you see he's got the inside position for a rebound. Merely by playing the corner position right. All right, hold it up. Right there. Now we have a demonstration of getting the ball into a man even though he's double teamed. Playing the defense, you got Elvin Hayes of the Washington Bullets, Phil Chenier of the Washington Bullets. On the offense, Charlie Scott and JoJo White taking the ball in from the Boston Celtics. Now what we're trying to show you is that when you double team a guy, if he's got all the time to get loose, he'll get the ball to him. That's not the way to do it. Now we're going to show you, in my opinion, especially in the clutch parts of the game, how to guard a man and how to play the situation when the ball is out of bounds. Okay, Joe, you take it out. I want Elvin Hayes of the Washington Bullets to guard JoJo. Now, Elvin, it's a close situation. It's right in the last few seconds of the ball game. Your team's one ahead. You're guarding JoJo White. What goes through your mind?
Well, the most important thing is not let him inbound the ball in scoring position. I wanted him to force him to make him pass to inbound the pass outward. That if, in case that he throw the ball in, my teammate Phil Chenier might be able to steal the basketball, or that I can try to harass him so that maybe we can get the 5 second call.
All right, let's try it. Let's go right through it. Play it just as if it's a ball game. A few seconds to go. Let's go. Come on. Hold it. Now, there you go. And there's a smart move. He called timeout. Elvin Hayes did his job. Now, luckily, he knew that he had a timeout left. Otherwise, they'd be in serious trouble. Now, assuming there are no timeouts left, 5 or 10 seconds to go, the Bullets 1 point ahead. They got to stop him from scoring. All right, let's go. Come on. There you go. He intercepted it. You see, Elvin Hayes forced JoJo to throw it this way. So even if Charlie Scott caught the ball, he's still quite a ways away from the basket. He's right here in midcourt. So his main idea going through his mind is make sure he can't throw it in there, as he mentioned, in scoring position. He wants to force him out this way, but if possible, not let him get the ball in. Now you notice, why would I have a big forward or a center like Elvin Hayes guarding a guard like JoJo White? Well, usually if a coach is smart, he'll take his big man, especially an active man, guarding the guy who has the ball out of bounds, regardless of a mismatch, regardless of position. JoJo doesn't have the time to give the ball to a guy, take Elvin Hayes into the corner, and make a play that way. It just can't be done. So what I'm trying to bring out is a very simple thing. When you take the ball out, make sure you can throw that ball in if possible. If you're on the defense, you've got to make sure that he's going to throw the ball mid-court direction. That's the place. Remember that. It's very important. Drills, practice techniques, or whatever you call them, they're vital. For example, anything you're going to learn out there, you've got to practice at it. You've got to improve your techniques, whether it's the dribble or the shoot or the method of doing it, or whether it's ways to run. Now, you've got to have these drills and you've got to have these good practice habits to get the job done, which can make you a better player. It doesn't come easy. You've got to work at it. All right, hold it up. Pete Maravich of the New Orleans Jazz, in my opinion, one of the great, great guards that ever played the game. So many things he's done from the time he was a little bitty one to make basketball not only his life, but a part of his hands. Now, you see that little drill he did there? That looks simple, but it has meaning. Everything he does has meaning. What about that drill, Pete?
This right here is just for a coordination standpoint of just you spread your legs out, and the object is to throw the ball at a 45-degree angle, catch it behind you, and throw it back with your wrist, getting stronger wrist. This just develops the coordination part of it and leads up to a more dramatic part of a drill, which I call the bullet ricochet.
Yeah, but you told me don't bend your knees, right?
You don't want to bend your knees.
You'll ever get hurt.
Because if you do, you open up a pocket under there, and you might end up where you don't want to end up.
All right, let's see you do it.
Okay, this is coordination.
Now watch it very closely. He goes faster and faster.
Now it develops into what I call a bullet ricochet, where you just throw it and you continually increase your speed and continue to increase your hand quickness.
You realize the speed that thing is going? Hold it, Pete. It gets me nervous. Every time he does that, it gets me nervous.
Makes me nervous, too.
All right, let's see a couple others, Pete.
This one is what I call the thigh clap. What you do is just stand, throw the ball, catch it, and throw it back. Again, utilizing all your wrists. Now, this looks very simple, but when you don't move your feet, it's very difficult. And you just keep throwing it back until you master this right here. After mastering this, then you go into what I call the thigh clap. What I'm going to do here is throw the ball about 5 or 6 feet in the air. I'm going to clap my thighs once, catch it behind my back, twice, and so on up to 10.
Go ahead.
I'm going to try to get to 10. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Notice how he watches the ball.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
How do you like that? You notice how he watched the ball on that all the time. His wrists, his coordination, his ability to use his hands in any part of his body, it's all important to the game itself. Let's see another one.
Okay, a third one that is very difficult, but develops extremely quick hands. And since you have to have quick hands and have knowledge of how to dribble the ball, it's what I call the knee clap. And the object of this is to put the ball behind your knees. I'm going to drop the ball, just drop it, clap my hands in front, and try to catch the ball before it hits the ground. You have to utilize a lot of quickness on this drill. It's almost an emotion drill for me because I have to concentrate a great deal. So I'll try to get this. I'll do this a couple times.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And all of these drills, don't you feel had a strong part in you being what you are today?
Well, without a doubt, they definitely established what I thought was, a large part of my game, mainly because when I was a junior in high school, I was 5 feet 10 inches, and when I became a senior in high school, I was 6 feet 4 inches. So there was a drastic jump in height, and a lot of kids that grow up that quickly really get clumsy and do not have the type of coordination they would like to have. In my case, I just blended in very smoothly because of all the drills I had done, because of all the work that my dad had used with me, and it turned out pretty good.
Pete Maravich, in my opinion, one of the great, great gods in basketball, did not get there by accident. He worked, he trained, he developed, and that's why he's Pete Maravich. Hey, what's going on here? Hold it. This is Calvin Murphy, the great guard for the Houston Rockets. Now, it's a bit unusual to see this greatness transferred from basketball into something like baton twirling. What are you trying to do to me? This is a basketball show.
Well, twirling goes along with basketball for me, as far as dexterity is concerned.
Is that right?
Yes.
Does it work with your fingers?
Yes, it's given me great finger control with the baton, along with controlling the basketball with my fingers.
Now, Calvin Murphy, being one of the smallest, if not the smallest guard ever to be so great in the NBA, there are two sides to this. We've discussed this many times. The bigger guys get you, they take you in a pivot, they try to muscle you. You're strong, you're quick, they don't fool around. But there's two sides to it. You're little, you're close to the ground, they got to get you. And that's where that dexterity comes in.
No question about it. If you can hold this and if we can just change for a second. First of all, because of my fingertip control, I feel that I have the advantage on the larger individual. He has to come down to 5'9" size if he wants to ball.
Yeah, like if I'm 6'4", so I got to come down here. That makes me off balance.
All right, now I have the advantage. I know what I'm going to do with the ball. I can control it. He's out of sync with his body. He cannot move the way I can because of my size.
That's right. I'm too tall, and I've got to bend down to your size.
Right, I'm already down here, so I have the advantage.
You see, what we're trying to say is, all you people out there, and you youngsters, 5'8", 5'9", 5'7", don't give excuses that you're too small. If you can work at it, pay the price, and do the job, always remember, you're close to the ground. The ball is on the floor here. You can keep bouncing that ball. He's got to come down to you. So remember that. All right, Calvin, let's see a few dexterity drills. Ridiculous. All right, now how does that relate if you're going to twirl the baton?
Well, I'm dribbling with my fingers here.
Watch this, watch this. He doesn't even have to watch anything. He's looking at the camera. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that control. This has played a part in that. I remember Calvin Murphy when he was young, and he always could work with that baton and work with that ball, and you kept up both.
Yes, and one helped the other.
And I want to congratulate you because you've had and you're still having a great career. And let this be a lesson. Don't use your size as an excuse. Pay the price, work hard, and if you've got it in you, you could be a great athlete and a great player. Thank you, Calvin.
All right, fellas, machine gun drill. Let's go. Get them going. Stay low now. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low. Quick. 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 Good job. Good job,
Very
fellas.
good, very good. We have here Morgan Walton, the coach of the Mather High School in Hyattsville, Maryland. Now, over the years, you've been here, what, 21 years?
21, Red.
You've had some pretty good ball players.
Some pretty good ones, man.
Pretty good teams. Now, show me some more drills. Now, you're preparing your team for a season. And even during the season, these are practice drills. Show me a couple more.
All right, fellas, right foot forward now. Real good defensive stance. Come on up now. Get. Come on back up. You got to be quick. Get. Retreat. Retreat. Advance. Advance. Swing. Swing.
See how they watch him?
Advance.
See how they watch him?
Advance.
See how they watch him?
Advance. Retreat.
That's the discipline.
Low. Stay low. Stay low. Stay low. Stay
Watch
low.
him. Talks to him all the time.
All right, come on back up.
I don't know what they say there, but it sounds good. Let me have those, that other drill with the men in the middle or something.
All right, fellas, have two guys, one more ball right here. Good passer, we got it. We did it again. Okay. You got it, Joe? All right, you all set? All right, work with your on hand, your right hand. Good defense, head up in your dribbling. Go to work. Can't leave a circle now. So you can play some defense on it.
Head is up. They're trying to get that ball. This is a very, very good drill because they are not watching the ball when they're dribbling. Remember what I used to always say? That the floor was smooth, the ball was round? Well, these kids practice it. They really work at it. I like it. It's good. Okay, very good. Now, do you feel that these drills really help you in the ball game?
No question, Red. I think they build a mental and physical discipline that goes towards building a championship team. I think it develops quickness of foot. These drills that build hand-eye coordination, confidence with the ball, and it's that mental toughness. I think it brings.
All right, now we've seen a lot of dexterity with Crazy George and people like that. They're great. You use it with your players. Some are good, some are better. Well, let me have about 5 or 6 of them out here just to show what they can do.
All right, let's get the balls out. Let's have the 1 and 2 men up here. You small and big guards. All right, fellas, let's move right in here, nice and close, right in here.
Okay.
All right, let's pound that ball. Pound it now. All right, circle around the body. Let's go. Circle it. Hand is part of your ball. Confidence with the ball. Around the midsection a little bit. That's it. Double leg circle now. Stay low. Head up. Head up if you can. Reverse it. That's it. Right leg forward now. Right leg. Circle it. All right, reverse it. Left leg out. That's it. Reverse it. Reverse it. Real good. All right, hold it right there. All right, let's see. Mike, you and Brian, come on up. Fellas, just step back for a minute. All right, fellas, now for quickness of foot, let's do the figure 8 running in place. Go to work.
Beautiful. Look at that feet. Look at the feet. Good condition. All right. All right, go ahead.
All right, hold it right there. That's good. Now, let's do the figure 8 drop, fellas. Great hand-eye coordination drill. Hand is part of the ball. Confidence with the ball.
Really move. You know, this really wears them out. This really tires them out.
Great conditioner, too, Red. Great conditioner. All right, hold it right there, fellas. The butterfly now.
You can see how they're breathing, and these kids are in good shape. I like this. I wish I could do it.
All right, very good. Hold it. Fellas, now let's try the sock drill, because that's terrific for quickness of hands. Hold that ball in your socks and wait for the call. Okay, go. Clapping our hands in front. Go. Let's move it halfway down our socks. Go. Go. Top of the shoes. Go.
Oh, that looks pretty easy, but that's real tough. The whole ball club, Morgan, really does a good job in preparing for the actual ball game. That's the name of the game. And what I want is those ball players out there, and even some of the coaches, to know that to prepare right is the answer. It's not only going out and shooting, but also these men could practice this at home, and they seem to enjoy it. You know, they fool around with the dunk, they fool around with the dribble, and you've got it organized. It's not just a helter-skelter. Isn't that the important thing? They're organized.
No question, Red. We give each one of these young men what we call our daily workout sheet. And they have it mimeographed in their possession, and they have an organized plan to develop their ball handling and their skills.
So they have to buy their own ball, or you give them a ball?
We've been known to lend it on occasions.
All right, Morgan, here at the Math, you got great tradition, great ball clubs. You got a guy with a great saying. Let's hear it. Susie, come here. Let me hear this thing.
If you hoot with the owls at night, you cannot soar with the eagles at dawn.
Remember that. Get your rest. Be ready. Although some things are said in a funny vein, there's a lot of truth to it. You can be serious. Now, we've given you all the fundamentals of this game. We've shown you the skills of the great players and how they do it. I can't do any more. Now it's up to you. How good do you want to be? Get out there and work. Get out there and pay the price. Think a little bit and get the job done.